The idea that someone could stop working altogether and still collect enormous checks every year sounds like the plot of a fantasy, but in the world of television reruns, it's a very real phenomenon. Some actors are living so comfortably off residuals that their yearly income would shock even the most successful business executives. Reruns have become their golden ticket, a financial fountain that keeps flowing long after the camera stopped rolling, scripts were shelved, and sets were torn down. In 2025, with streaming platforms and syndication deals reaching global audiences, these numbers have ballooned to unimaginable heights, transforming actors from household names into multimillionaires without them having to lift a finger. The foundation of this phenomenon lies in television's unique business model. Once a show airs, it can be sold and resold, licensed and relicensed, played on TV stations, streaming platforms, and international networks for decades. Every time a rerun plays, royalties, often called residuals, are paid out to those involved, typically the actors, writers, directors, and producers. For most shows, these checks shrink over time, with the first rerun paying the largest percentage and subsequent airings offering diminishing returns. But for some shows, especially cultural juggernauts like Friends, The Simpsons, or Seinfeld, the volume of airings is so massive that even a reduced rate translates to millions annually. Not everyone wins though. In fact, some of the earliest television stars signed away their rerun rights entirely, either because they didn't realize how valuable they would become, or because the concept of syndication didn't even exist yet. Take The Brady Bunch for example. It's one of the most iconic shows in TV history, endlessly referenced in pop culture and rerun for generations. You'd assume Maureen McCormick and the rest of the cast are living large off those checks. The reality? They make $0 in rerun royalties. Due to the way their contracts were written, they only get paid if actual clips are used in new productions, like documentaries or commercials. The same is true for The Honeymooners. Despite being a beloved piece of television history, its cast was similarly excluded from rerun profits. Jackie Gleason and Art Carney, two titans of mid-century TV, earned nothing from decades of reruns. The only exception was Audrey Meadows, who, thanks to savvy negotiations, secured a deal that allowed her to keep earning. At a time when television was still a relatively new medium, most actors simply didn't think to demand residuals. Today, their mistake would be worth millions. Some actors get almost comically small checks. Soleil Moon Frye, star of Punky Brewster, makes about $1, $2 annually from reruns today, barely enough to buy a cup of coffee. Drake famously posted his $8.25 check from his time on Degrassi, a sobering reminder that not every show turns into a syndication goldmine. Even Full House star Bob Saget admitted that his yearly take from reruns ranged from $2 to $2,000, depending on the year. It's proof that residuals, for most actors, don't lead to early retirement. But then there's the other side of the spectrum, the jaw-dropping figures that prove just how powerful TV reruns can be. Let's start modestly. David Caruso of CSI, Miami fame, makes around $100,000 a year from reruns. That might sound like a lot, but considering the global popularity of the show, it's actually fairly low. The Law & Order cast fares better, with estimates suggesting around $200,000 annually for veteran actors like Jerry Orbach and Sam Waterston. This is thanks to the show's relentless syndication schedule. It's almost always airing somewhere in the world. The stars reportedly receive about 6% of their original salaries per rerun. Moving up the ladder, animated shows often prove surprisingly lucrative. The cast of Family Guy earns about $250,000 annually in rerun residuals. While that's dwarfed by the show's overall worth, estimated at around $2 billion, it's still a comfortable yearly bonus for a few hours in a recording booth. Garcelle Beauvais from The Jamie Foxx Show reportedly takes home $700,000 a year, a figure that's impressive given the show's smaller cultural footprint compared to mega hits like Friends. Things really start to heat up once you hit the $1 million tier. Roseanne Barr once made around $1 million annually from Roseanne reruns before her controversies led networks to pull the show. Alan Alda and the cast of MASH Asterisk also brought in around $1 million a year, astonishing for a 1970s series. Betty White earned an estimated $3 million annually from the Golden Girls in her later years, proving that nostalgia and strong writing can keep one of Cheers' fame earns about $5 million a year, decades after the series finale. That's a testament to how beloved beloved the show remains. It continues to air on multiple platforms, and Danson's deal was smartly structured to give him a sizable cut. The pioneers of syndication, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, set the standard. I Love Lucy still earns money to this day, and for decades before the rights were sold in 2018, the pair each made $7.5 million annually. Their business acumen was unprecedented. They were among the first to retain ownership of their show, understanding that reruns could be profitable. Their foresight turned into a financial empire. By the time you get to the $10 million bracket, you're looking at television royalty. Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel on Family Matters, earns around $10 million a year from reruns, thanks to the show's enduring popularity. Ed O'Neill pulls in the same amount from Married with Children, while The Simpsons cast also makes roughly $10 million annually after the FX and Disney deals supercharged their syndication value. Mayim Bialik and Jim Parsons of The Big Bang Theory fame each make around $10 million per year from reruns, despite the show having ended less than a decade ago. Then of course there's Friends, one of the most profitable TV shows of all time. It generates about $1 billion in residuals annually for Warner Brothers, with each of the 6 main cast members pocketing roughly $20 million every year. Jennifer Aniston and her co-stars negotiated groundbreaking contracts in the show's final seasons that gave them equal shares of syndication revenue, a move that changed how TV contracts were structured for top-tier talent. Kelsey Grammer, meanwhile, is the king of long-running sitcoms. Between Cheers and Frasier, he spent 22 years playing Dr. Frasier Crane. The result? A staggering $13 million a year in residuals. Tim Allen, thanks to Home Improvement, brings in around $18 million annually, proving that the 1990s family sitcom boom still pays dividends. Ray Romano, from Everybody Loves Raymond, matches that figure. His show's family-friendly humor has kept it popular across generations and streaming platforms. Charlie Sheen took things to another level when he sold his rights to Two and a Half Men royalties for $27 million in 2016, cashing out in one swoop. Frankie Muniz, who retired from acting at 19, lives off the fortune he made from Malcolm in the Middle reruns, around $40 million total so far. Bob Denver, the star of Gilligan's Island, earned a shocking $100 million in rerun money over his lifetime, despite the show only running for 3 seasons. And at the very top, towering above all, are Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. Their show Seinfeld is still one of the most watched syndicated comedies in the world. Each year, they earn an estimated $110 million from reruns alone. Their decision to retain ownership stakes in the show, rather than just acting in it, was a masterstroke. In a streaming era where Seinfeld is constantly relicensed, most recently by Netflix in a deal reportedly worth over $500 million, their annual haul remains unparalleled, but nothing compares to the juggernaut that is SpongeBob SquarePants. While details about individual voice actors' earnings are scarce, the character itself generates over $8 billion annually for Nickelodeon and Paramount through reruns, licensing, and merchandise. It's not just a show, it's a global economic engine. The numbers are mind-boggling. On one end, you have actors cashing $1 checks and posting them online for laughs. On the other, you have individuals like Seinfeld, David, and Grammer earning more from reruns than some celebrities do at the peak of their careers. It's a strange, fascinating ecosystem, part luck, part timing, and part savvy negotiation. In 2025, as streaming services race to acquire and retain classic content to keep their subscribers entertained, the value of these shows continues to climb. For many actors, that means the checks just keep getting bigger. Some live modestly, barely noticing the residual trickles. Others, like Jerry Seinfeld, essentially built empires off the back of reruns. It's a reminder that in television, the real money often comes after the cameras stop rolling, or what? And that one smart contract can secure a lifetime of financial security.